get everything set up. Bear with me. So first off, obviously it is about 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and normally we would do this at 6 p.m. And do Wine Wednesday. However, I didn't have a lot of time to like warn everybody, what have you, because I actually have dinner plans with a friend who she's a coworker and she's in from out of town, and I'm so excited to eat dinner with her while she's here. But obviously we'll be doing that tonight, and in the avenue of planning everything, I forgot, oh my God, that's a Wednesday. Like, that's the first live stream day. So I'll actually be at dinner at that time instead of live streaming. So I didn't want to miss giving you guys what we planned. So I kind of turned this into, instead of Wine Wednesday, like morning beverage of choice Wednesday. I personally am already done with my coffee. Jeff and I got up about 4:30. I procrastinated and rolled around in the bed for another hour and whined about having to get up. But other than that, we've been up for a while, and so I've had my coffee and I am just sipping on water and kind of getting in the zone for the day, and then I'll go run after this video. So thank you guys for working with my schedule today. Every other live stream I do this month, which is every other Wednesday, not every other Wednesday, sorry, that came out wrong. Every Wednesday of March, I'm going to be doing live streams. All the other ones will be at 6 p.m. If there's a time adjustment that needs to happen, I will try to give you guys as much warning as possible. Give me just a second to continue setting up a little bit, and then we are going to go through. There we go. I just want to make sure everything was muted. And we're going to go through these lovely planners. Another weird thing that I do want to talk about is the fact that it is, oh my God, March 1st. Can we just talk about that? I'm so freaking excited. Yesterday, at least here in Georgia, was freaking beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, and it's going to be gray and rainy and gross for the next couple days. So that kind of sucks, but it was definitely like the full-blown teaser of spring coming, and I'm really excited. My Austera box should be here at the end of the week. So lots to look forward to. Spring is coming. It is my birthday month. It is my mom's birthday month. It is Austera. It is everything spring that I love, and all the pollen that I hate, and my allergies are gonna go berserk. But I'm super excited nonetheless. I'm a spring baby, so I love spring. I love flowers. I'm very excited. I wish the sun would come out a little bit more so there wasn't like shadows everywhere, but just bear with me for this big block of shadow that's pretty much caused by my camera stand, and I can't really do too much about. I am having a technical issue off to the side, so just bear with me. But we can go ahead and start nonetheless. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with, I guess I'll just start with the baby. Why not? Okay, perfect. This way, if anybody hops on, I can say hello. And again, I'm so sorry. This is so early and off schedule, and I'm sorry. That was not my vision. And we'll talk about the other videos that I'm planning on doing towards the end as well, so that you guys know what's coming up. And as always, if you guys have a suggestion or something that you want to see me live stream, whether I fit it into the schedule this month or whether I do it in another live stream series, I don't know when I'm going to plan another one quite yet, but there will definitely be more this year. It's something that I'm trying to do. I know our last set was in December, so not really sure when the next one will be yet. Cool. Okay, so let's just start with the budget one, and I'm going to talk about it for a little bit. So if you're looking for setup videos or anything like that, those are all on the channel. We're just going to talk about February as a whole. So I use the expense tracker sheets from Happy Planner. I just pop them in here, and these are super messy. One of the things that I really didn't care for is the fact that normally at the end of the month, I kind of go back and clean them up a little bit so they're not as like written through. But because today is March 1st and I would have done that kind of last night maybe, but I had Jeff over for dinner, I would have done that into this morning and throughout the day. But because I'm doing a live stream here in the morning, so there's a lot of things that like threw it off kilter. But so they're going to be a little bit messy, but I do want to talk about kind of how my frame of mind is, and some things came up this month that were very curious to me of like, how do I want to track this? So yeah, we'll talk about all these things. So my goal is to stay at $150 a week. The things that I include in that are food, gas, takeout, clothing, you know, all of those things. I don't count things like car maintenance, emergencies, gifts. I track them, but they're not included in my total budget for right now. I would like to continue to condense down, but from what I'm finding, that is sometimes a very reliable budget and sometimes it's not. And February was actually kind of cool because it's 28 days. So I was able to break it down 1 to 7, 8 to 14, 15 to 21, 22 to 28. So that's how the weeks are broken down. I don't do it, you know, week 1, week 2, week 3. This is a lot easier for me and digestible. So that's the system that I'm using. I'm hoping everything is in frame. Perfect. So that's the digestible version that I can come up with. So you'll see little notes at the bottom where it'll be like total with Binks food, without, because I'm trying to switch Binks's things into a category of quarterly purchases. So my goal with like a lot of the things like the oil changes and Binks's food, or larger ticket items like maybe cleaning supplies and paper products, like those type of things, I'm gonna try really hard to start a list and sorting into like quarterly purchase and being able to monitor that versus having to throw it in with like weekly groceries. So that's all of this is gonna stack over time and is definitely a process. I know I said this before in some videos, like I was tracking my expenses in my Kokuyo Jibun in the bottom. I can actually show you guys for over a year, I think, where I tracked them like, okay, this is a bad example, but like here, I tracked them at the bottom for a year, and I didn't have any goals in mind necessarily. I just wanted to track everything I spent. And this goes back to even what I say when you get a new planner, you know, before you start stickering it to hell and back and, you know, making it look pretty, track what you're doing, track what you want to be monitoring in your planner so that you know where you have open space to do things or decorate. So just keep that in mind, that I was tracking expenses for a long time before I kind of settled on this goal and, you know, how I wanted things to look. But basically, if I take Binks's food out, I finished 15 bucks under, which was kind of nice. For the second week, I didn't do so well. I went over about $66. The third week was a hot mess because not only did I just go over like double the budget, like I doubled it. It was barbaric. But here's what's weird. I returned a ton of stuff, or I got returns back. So that kind of has to factor into some degree. So I did get a return from Shein to the tune of, you know, $92.47. So I kind of have to take that out, and that brings it down to being over only about about 70 bucks. For that. And then the other return was directly to my Nordstrom card. So even though it wasn't directly to my bank account, it will go long term with that card. So I think I struggled with how do I want to track that in particular, because even though it's a return, it's more towards payments, whereas the Shein was more direct to my bank account, if that makes sense. And I think those are things that I have to think about, and why I'm trying to be more cash, because then it's easier to track cash in, cash out, versus when you're starting to implement credit cards and things like that. And my goal is to get down to a very limited amount of cards and get rid of my store cards if I can with particular retailers. So again, all of this is towards bigger, longer term goals. My hair, I had a hair appointment that week. I am obviously opting to count that as more of a quarterly or emergency expense, because I had to get my hair done because we were doing company pictures. Otherwise, I probably would have procrastinated that a little bit longer. And as you can see, I finished my last week $40.88 under. So I actually did really, really well this past week. So that was really nice. I kept it really, really tapered. I think a lot of that just had to do with the massive amount of guilt I felt from the week before. And I think also just spending that large amount of money. Like I just kind of didn't want to spend anymore. I just felt I have a lot of guilt associated with going over budget. So, yeah, I think that definitely played its part in me being under so much. I do use all of that information to fill out. There's a page in the front of it. I'll show you last year's because I have it somewhat accessible. There's I didn't fill it out last year really. The money plan. I redid this page in the new planner. I guess I can share it pretty quickly. I haven't filled it out for this month, and we're gonna go through this planner anyway. We can do this one next since I've already got it open. I'll center everything. So, money plan. This one's pretty different. Let me center this out a little bit. Okay. Sorry for anything that's like off screen, I guess. Let's see. It's so weird because on my phone, it's not like I don't have a border, but on my screen where I'm watching, I can see that there's a border. So anyways, so I've got my money plan here. And it's a mess and I'm working on it, but I haven't filled out February quite yet. And that's okay. So moving on, I need words. Okay. So, with the money plan, I've got to fill it out still. I don't have any. If you have a recommendation for me, pop it in. One of the subscribers recommended that book to me, so it's on there. And then I use the book list section to track what books I'm actually reading, and I still haven't finished one for this year yet. This is my watch list. It's gonna fill up really fast. This was all of January. I haven't gone back and done February yet, but I estimate I'll probably end somewhere over here. Now I do have spare pages, but I don't know how I'm gonna track 12 months in here because I'm gonna have to like copy this page and staple it in about 5,000 times. I think my thought turned into putting it in the idea book just to continue it going, which is fine too. But I kind of like this list only because at the end of the year I can go through and pick my favorites, which will be fun. So I need to go back and add that. I did at least put my gifts received and gifts given just to keep up with things a little bit better. So I gave Jeff a Valentine's like little gift basket this month, and it just had like beer and jerky and snacky things in it for when he hunts or is on anything like that. Or if he's out at his property and needs a snack, just little things for him to keep. And then a little supplement organizer because he got all the supplements for us. So I thought that would be like a good gift back. He got me a pie plate because we took mine to a friend's house for dinner and I left it there, and I didn't realize for a really long time that I didn't have it because I don't use it regularly. I typically bake the pie in like whatever the pie crust thing is. So, oops, my bad. And then he gave me flowers for Valentine's. So I wanted to mark that in there. Now we get to the good stuff. So let's talk about tracker pages and let's talk about how that went. So up at 5 a.m. happened 50% of the month. I am kind of restructuring. Like today, I would say that I was up at 5 because I was up, I was having conversations. I just wasn't out of the bed. So maybe once I get comfortable getting up at that time, and if I can continue that movement, I think it's pretty hard for me to be literally out of the bed at 5 unless I'm up at 4:30. And I don't think that that's necessarily natural. So I think I'm just gonna do wake up at 5, that I'm up by that time. But I did that 50% of the month. I might have had more. I have noticed that I am pretty bad about tracking the 5 a.m. and the 9 p.m. side of things. That's why the 9 p.m. got really empty, unless I knew for a fact, because like in my brain, I was like, oh, I remember looking at the clock and it being, 8:23 or something random like that. But I did that 50% of the month. Power hours were at 61. Kind of curious. Okay, so power hours and 10K steps are down. The only thing that I have to say about that is I wonder how much of a role that played in being a 28-day month instead of a 31. I bet if I counted the days, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9. Okay, so about 2 days less that particular time, but I was just curious, like what kind of role that played. 10K steps, I'm not going to bother counting that. Water, I hit 36%, which is really low. That's really strange. Why is that so low? Huh. Dinner by 7 p.m., we did 68%. Typically, dinner by 7 p.m., something weird is happening. Like I had a gravy take too long one night. We had lasagna last night, so it took longer to bake. Something kind of in that realm, like if it's something that takes a little bit longer, or maybe we went out to dinner because we were both at work late, can also play a factor. So I don't beat myself up too much about it. And that's having dinner by 7, 68% of the month is not bad. The no sweets thing, you guys, versus no alcohol. Okay. I have a sweet tooth. I could literally eat 3 M&Ms after dinner and be fine. So like, I don't want anybody, not that there's anything wrong with this, but like, I'm not sitting down and eating half a cake. The other, what is it? Oh, I can't do math now. That's new. 89% of the month. I was like, do the math. I'm not sitting down and eating like a whole pint of ice cream or anything crazy. I am trying to untrain 30 years of implemented mentality. That's a lot of words. But I'm trying to undo the whole clean plate committee, and then you get dessert mentality. I am trying really hard to be like, no, you can go to bed without sweets, like it's fine. Jeff is really good about it, and it's funny because he's more like, whereas I want the 3 M&Ms or a small bite of a cookie or something like that, he is more like he'd rather have like a drink with his dinner or something like that. So everybody's got their thing, I think, and you have to pick and choose, like, does that matter, and like in what context is it? And everybody's different, so I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that they're wrong for eating half a cake or having a drink or whatever. These are just things that I'm tracking for my own personal journey and seeing how often they're happening or not happening. I did keep the no sweets and no alcohol, even though there's some whiteout right there that I'm letting sit before I write over it because I misspelled alcohol. I don't know how, but I did. But if you look at the difference between, and I feel like I've said this because I've tracked this several times before, but when comparing my sweets to alcohol, I have a really high percentage of no alcohol. One, I don't like how it mixes with my medicine because it makes me more bloated. That is a big reason that I don't do it anymore. But it doesn't mean that we don't go out and I don't occasionally have a glass, or like last night, it was gorgeous weather. And so we walked around and I had a glass of white wine while we walked. Like that kind of thing. I am better at, it's kind of, I think I've said this before. If there's tacos, I want a margarita. Like it's that kind of drinking, not, you know, I kind of like pair things or activities or meals with certain drinks. And that's usually the trigger point. The sweets thing is like a constant where it's like literally after every savory meal, I immediately want something sweet. So I'm trying to get in a better habit of replacing it with things like yogurts, like Greek yogurt, not bad for me yogurt. Or maybe a protein bar or something healthy and sweet versus, so when I say no sweets, I mean cookies, cake, milkshakes, ice cream, all that jazz. So just to clarify, it's been a while since I've clarified and we've had a lot of people hop on. Calorie deficit. Obviously, in the whole avenue of me, no sweets, no alcohol, I'm trying to maybe lose a little bit of weight that I'm not happy with. So I did about 21%, which isn't awful. I think it's better than last month. Yep, better than 16%. So I'm going to take it. I know it's going to take progress and I have to be patient and I have to like just see every day like a new day. Part of my goal for March is to be more cognizant of, and I started this in February, looking at my week as a whole. Like it's okay to have higher calorie days, but I need to make sure that I am trying to run on those days or have longer runs on those days. So for instance, today I'm going to run when I get done with this live stream, and I'm going to run for about an hour. There's a specific album that I want to run to, and I want to see how far I get. So I can call it that run, and just, I think that would be fun to do. I just think it's going to be fun. I think it's like 49 minutes. So we're going to see how far I go in 49 minutes, basically based off the album. That's super quirky, but I love interesting things like that to make my workouts more fun. To me, that's entertaining. It's saying, all right, this is a freaking awesome album. Every song is a hit, like makes me want to run. I'm going to run to this and see how far I go. Versus, hey, I'm just going to go run for an hour. I'm going to run 3 miles. I try to make it interesting. We already talked about the bedtime thing. So workout was at 32%. I need to play with that number a little bit because I feel like it would be easy to say, oh, that's not a lot. Let me see what my workout was. Now I'm curious. 39. So it was a little bit down, and I know that because I would have normally run one of the days in here. I normally, if you look really close, there's only usually a 2 or 3 day break. It's supposed to be only 2. And usually I can guarantee if we go back, it's a Monday, Tuesday, like it's going to be always on Monday and Tuesdays that there's not a workout. So I kind of have to account for that. And I do think it's important to have rest days. So I don't ever really want to have 100%. I think the closest I ever got was December of 2021 when I ran every day. I ran 15 minutes every day almost. I did get a little bit of Hobonichi in there, and you can see the organize and file 10 minutes is at a 0%. I brought that goal back for March because what I'm trying to do is take 10 minutes every day and work on a project that's pretty large. So whether that's physical files in the office, whether that's organizing, we have like a huge hot mess of a room at the office that needs attention, whether it's me getting in the closet for 10 minutes to sort through some totes and start working on that, whether it's 10 minutes with the Etsy custom. I'm trying to just spend 10 minutes on a larger scale project every day so that at least something is being done. I am the type of person that I would rather plan it all out, make this big grandiose plan, and then break it down. And sometimes I just don't have the time to make that plan, or the plan's gonna change or whatever. But I feel like 10 minutes every day is gonna make a difference. And I know that because I tried it, I think a little bit in January. I didn't track it, but I did try it a little bit in January with the filing thing at work, and it did work pretty well. Now let's take a look at February monthly spread. So as you can see, all of the little bubbles are colored in. All of my play buttons are colored in. Some of these did move around, I think, and I just haven't drawn in the arrows. Again, that would be something that I would do through the course of today. So I think some of these videos switch places. Like I think the in bulk might have been here, and I put the plan with me, like I switched them. I think I switched these as well because I think that came out Sunday. So little things like that I would have normally tracked. That's like January's hot mess sloppy version. Another thing that I didn't do is I really did not post spreads, like my planner spreads, to the Facebook group, and that's something that I did want to start putting in here. Another thing is I do want to start trying to plan more social media content here. So in the future, I'd like to see like a little bubble that says, you know, post spread to TCMC if it's applicable. Like, and I ran into this problem yesterday. I went to post a spread to the Coffee Monster Co group I'm in on Facebook, and it was a very clean spread. I will actually show you what spread we'll get there. Where is it? It was this spread. We'll talk about it when we get here, but it's really clean. And I posted it and I was really excited about it because it was so clean. And then they rejected it. And I was like heartbroken for a minute. But the reason they rejected it is because it didn't have their product in it. That's totally fair. That's what that group's for. It's not there for me to, I can post it, you know, to my Instagram or wherever. So I just would like to put bubbles where I know I'm going to have like a Coffee Monster Co heavy week or something like that. So it's a reminder. So that would be really nice. That's plans for the future. As far as goals, we're not going to like beat a dead horse. I pretty much had a very full February. I didn't even get to pre-film a lot of content. I think a lot of it had to do with Jeff being sick, through this weekend right here. And then work has just been really busy. So a lot of my remote time has been, I'm very nervous. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I'm super freaking nervous about getting through this month in one piece with all content up. If I do, I don't even know. I feel like there should be a grand prize at the end. If I get through this entire month with every live stream, every video posted, every Disney bound picture posted, I would like a prize. I don't know what that is, but I would like a prize. Because I have set some very lofty goals and I have not done enough of the prep work, and that is on the highway and I cannot control it. So sorry about that. As far as work, and you'll see like a lot of things got worked on, but not finished. So February looks pretty light. All right, now we're gonna get into weekly spreads. Okay, as I said, this is super clean, super duper clean. I didn't film that week, I don't think, did I? Hard to say. I do think I kept going. Did I? Let's see. Let's go back to where we were. No, I took the week off. Yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, I took the week off and I'm kind of happy about it. I think it looks really nice. Like this is really clean. I have no complaints. As you can see, a ton of things got moved or started. it was really, I think this also, I think I was happy. This is why I like to take weeks off occasionally from filming Plan With Me. That's what I mean when I say I'm taking a week off. It means I'm not going to film a Plan With Me that week. I think sometimes it's really important for me to do that so that I can straight plan in the planner and not focus so much on checking everything before I leave the house so that I can plan with you guys, and then getting in the office and taking notes on a like steno pad and then coming back and adding it. And it gets very clunky because I know a lot of content creators and I know a lot of planners like who can film at work because they work from home or what have you. But I do think that this is super nice and clean. The washi tape is from Heidi Swap. This is, what Tombow is this? It's a very light pink. I think it's 850. I think it's this one. But I do like that super soft one very much. And then this is a mild liner. It's like the yellow gold one. Trying to look for anything worth calling out. I was doing a lot of in-bulk research because in-bulk was on the 1st, and I kind of carried that through until the full moon on Sunday night. And I did, oh my gosh, it was so fun. I have a giant, I don't know why I'm doing it like this, but I have a giant carafe. And I'm going to try to start doing this for every new moon and full moon, is set out a whole carafe of water, because I brought it in, filled my coffee, filled my Keurig with the water that I had, made a cup of coffee, drank 16 ounces of it, just regular. And then I also made Jeff and I tea that night. So like all the energy that I could muster, and I shared it, which was really fun. So that was a lot of what was happening that week. Lots of work tasks, obviously, as you can see. I love that. Did we watch anything? I drew an arrow for Pompeii and added the Saving Notre Dame. I was really bad about filling in that week with so much going on, and you see question marks. So I don't altogether know what I watched. The next week was a Princess Week. So this is the Princess, I think 2.0 washi from Coffee Monster Co. So lots of pinks and florals and purples. I started trying to get some Disney bounds done early, so I got my prompt for Stranger Things and dressed up like the Queen of Hearts. I did my Tiana and Jessica Rabbit. I'm gonna have to redo Jessica Rabbit. This is where Jeff got sick, and I started running Valentine's errands, so that was happening as well. We were starting Midnight Club, which took freaking ever. So lots of little things happened along the way. Lots of tasks migrated. Another thing that I did try this month, and I think I'm gonna keep doing, because I feel like that's the only way that I'm gonna retrain myself, is I take the list from this. I take this list basically and I pop it into this sidebar, and it just migrates every single week with me until I mark those things off. But I do add in other things that aren't on the main list that I'd still like to see accomplished. So those go along the way too, like maybe a particular video that I need to film for the following week or for that week, that happens as well. This was the week of Valentine's. This washi is from Crate Paper. Super loved that. I thought that was a really cute way to document. And I particularly love this little pop of peach. I wish I had done it more. It's like, I used it for the orange here. So it's like a peachy orange. And I think it went really nice to pull that out. I wish I had done more little checkpoints like that. And I love this like teal, blue greeny color. It's probably one of my favorite Tombows now. But obviously, again, lots of pink. I did get my Belle bound done and a Padme bound done that day, so stay tuned for that. As you can see, lots of tasks continuing to migrate. I am not the best about paying attention to this list, and this goes back to some of these tasks need to be broken down into smaller projects. And sometimes I just need to suck it up and do them. But I think the 10-minute organized thing might help knock some of these out a little bit better. As always, most of my stickers come from Coffee Monster Co. If you ever have a question about that, and I think it shows that they're clearly all from a similar brand. I drew the little medical thing. I need to get a new white Uniball Signo because that one is struggle busing. That's why it's like icky and pink, and I don't think it shows up on camera that way, but it's not like a bright crystal white, which I don't care for. And then this is last week. So lots of purple. Self-care was the theme, mainly because Monday I had my hair appointment with Nikki. Purple is my favorite color. I literally love, I think, every single shade of purple except for like royal purple. I don't know what it is about royal purple. I think it's just like the abrasiveness of it. To me, it just seems very abrasive and bright. And it's not just purple I feel that way about. It's like every primary, I don't even want to say primary color, every like true blue version of a color, I typically don't care for. So like the whole Roy G. Biv, whatever like that represented color is, I don't like it. I like shades of that color, but not the like true color of it. So fun fact about me and my weirdness. But like I said, self-care was the theme. So what I did try to do is a self-care activity every single day. Some were big, some were small. So I got my hair done. I cooked myself dinner, which doesn't sound crazy, but it was one of my favorite meals, and I did a protection spell with it. And every time I stirred clockwise, I had intention and like would put my good intentions into it. And I would breathe in and stir clockwise. And then I would like breathe out, like audibly breathe out and stir counterclockwise and just get rid of all the negative thoughts. On Wednesday, it was National Margarita Day, and I just took a nature walk outside and had some margaritas. Margaritas and tequila are probably like one of my favorite things. So that was relaxing and just being in nature, and it was so much fun. I felt it was beautiful. It was a beautiful day, and so Jeff and I just walked around outside. Thursday, I treated myself to coffee on the porch while I watched the sun come up, which I never do on a work day. And also just, that was really fun to just do it on a work day and like have take a breath and know that I had plenty of time to do what I needed to do and get to work, and I could stop and enjoy that. That was wonderful. And then I also treated myself to a very serious conversation that I didn't want to have, but worked out really well. Friday, what did we do Friday? Oh, I wore a really cute new dress, which doesn't sound like a self-care activity, but I felt so pretty. I did my hair and went out to Jess early and just relaxed and enjoyed just the beautiful day. I did treat myself to a pretty heavy lunch, which was really nice. On Saturday, I would say that the self-care was more of being around people and being patient with myself. So Jeff and I walked around the property, which was relaxing. And it was fun to kind of like see his vision again. Every time we're out there, that's really what we're focusing on, is like talking about what he wants to do out there and where he sees certain things. So that was really nice. And then we had dinner with some friends. They came over to the house, and these are all the things that we made. Again, I'm kind of liking this little bullet point style. They're not huge, so they're not as big as like the check mark stickers that I have from a lot of companies. So I really like this like little bullet point style. I know I could check them as well, or I could circle them and make them a little bit more prominent. Another thing I really love about this spread, and I've done it a couple times, is the little geotags for days where it's not necessarily a to-do list of a day. It's a lot of gallivanting, or maybe we have like a date day planned. So if you feel like I've said this before, my planners are a mix of to-do lists and memory keeping. That's why you see like what I've watched, or maybe tarot or things like that. Oh, before I get too much further, I finally want to use this space at the bottom now that I'm not tracking expenses down there anymore. I've really not been sure what to do with that, and I think that this is where I'm going to track tarot and crystals if I've got them. I've been carrying the same ones for this whole week, and I'm still carrying them. The rose quartz and the nephrite jade have been in my pocket. I've also added something else, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I've had 3 crystals like with me most of the time. They're usually in that little like coin key pocket thing in my jeans, or they're in my bra, or they might be in my purse. But I do want to start tracking tarot, maybe gratitude. There's a couple things that I can track down here, but I do want to try to get in a better habit of filling that space. Obviously, some weeks I meal plan and some weeks I don't. You'll see that change over time. I'm better. I mean, I feel like that shows the real truth that I haven't finished my March planning, and it's March 1st and I've got to film it. So I've been doing it on notepads, which is really clunky, but that's the real truth of what's happening. But we're going to start using this bottom space more. And I'm glad that I leave this space to try new things. And I always encourage people, like, if something just starts to not feel right, don't do it there anymore. Like, find a new place to put it. Like I said, I tracked expenses down there for a year before I was like, okay, I want a separate space for this so that I can dedicate more time to it, get more granular with it. That's what I was hunting for. The word I was hunting for earlier is granular. So if you start tracking something, like, I'm going to use the budgeting for this particular analogy. I was tracking budgeting there because it made sense to track it on a daily, in a daily sense there. There was only a couple days a month where it wouldn't have all fit. And that's usually like days that I pay bills or something like that, or a huge shopping day. That's really, really rare outside of like Christmas. But the point was that I kept tracking there, and then I was like, okay, I want to get more granular. So then towards the end of the year, I started thinking, all right, keep tracking there, but try to stay in $150. And then by the new year, I created the binder where I would have the cash envelope and I would have the tracker sheet so that they work together. And I could keep that in one place that wasn't here, because it wasn't like I could keep the envelope in here either. So now from here, I'm going to continue to get more granular. Okay, what can I start to put onto a quarterly purchase list? What can I cut back on? Where am I spending my money? Where am I being irresponsible? Where am I being responsible? Like, it's all of those things. And I don't think that there's any right or wrong way to plan. And I think the more that you focus on functionality and what you're actually trying to accomplish with the planner, like if you're just trying to like memory keep and, you know, make some to-do lists and stickerify everything, and then that's your therapy, that's totally part of my vibe and what I do. But at the end of the day, I'm always trying to move the ball forward and set the bar higher, like, and just continue to improve, even if it's small baby steps. It just feels really good to flip through some of my planners and be like, wow, I've come so far. And then there's other areas where I'm like, oh, you still do that. That sucks. So I'm not going to say it's all wins, but, yeah. And then Sunday was a wreck. Sorry, we'll get right back on track. Sunday was kind of a wreck. Because my car was having an issue starting, and then I had to go on like the great hunt of working through some car situation, things, and then my treat to myself was cooking carbonara, but I was also having fridge issues, so I was worried that everything in my fridge was gonna go, and so I was having to deal with that. I think all I lost was like 2 packages of cheese that were maybe on the verge at the time anyways. But that is it. We don't have anything to go over in the idea book this month, because all it really is back there is like my bill pay checklist type of things, which we don't need to share and see, and we're totally fine with without doing that. Is that on there permanently? What happened to that? So yes, we're gonna leave that alone. Now I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through what to expect for the live streams this month. And again, if you guys have a suggestion, I would love to hear them. I'm open to moving some things around. I'm open to filming some things and having them as uploads if you guys have something in particular you want to see on a live stream. The only thing that I struggle with on a live stream is doing like a play with me journal type of thing, because I'm gonna have to do some research about what I can play in the background. Oh, and I have one more planner. I almost forgot my little fitness one, so we'll talk about him in a quick second, but I'll go through this just since I have it open. So my plan is to do at least one Hobonichi with me. I will most likely do 2 in the middle of the month. So next week will probably be a Hobonichi with me. And so will be the next one. If there's something else you'd rather see, like you'd rather see me do a Project Life spread or something like that, let me know. Or if you'd rather see me do the Austera unboxing live, I can do that. We are gonna do a quarter setup live and the April setup live. So it's kind of like 2 paper crafting, 3 planner related. I know a lot of people have been enjoying the Hobonichi with me, so it might be 1 Hobonichi with me, 1 Project Life with me. So again, if you'd rather see the Austera unboxing or anything like that, let me know. We can certainly switch some things around. But that is it for the Kokuyo. We're gonna go through my Hobonichi weeks pretty quickly, I think. So monthly, why do I not have my, okay. So February, I chose to, and this was in the setup video, I chose to do meals through the whole month. I did not run 3 times a week, so I'm just gonna draw one diagonal line. I kind of started. I didn't do any strength, and I don't think I finished calorie flat on anything, and I know I didn't do my supplements daily, but I did make good progress. I don't necessarily know, I'm playing with the monthly layouts in the Hobonichi weeks. I know that I want them to be centered around health and fitness and well-being, but I don't necessarily know what that looks like from a monthly grid yet, because normally I would have tracked my workouts, but those have been going into my weeklies. So I have been using the weekly spreads to document. Oh, I just realized I didn't do certain things that I have to go back and do. So the circles track my cycle and the hearts track intimacy. So I need to go back and fill those in because there are updates to that. And I do know what they are, but I need to go back and fix them. So the other thing I'm tracking are my actual workouts and any supplements or medicine that I'm taking. Like I have the Bad Headspace, Bloated Achy Note. This week I was doing really, really well with supplements. I was also doing like Flonase or Tylenol, like because I was getting sinus headaches. Some have like the Advil Sinus on them. But this is meant to be health and fitness only. And the reason being that this to me is super small. I can stick it in my purse and I can take it into the doctor's office with me so that I can discuss those type of things with her and kind of show her like, hey, like, this is what's happening. These are my notes. So again, I was doing really, really well that week tracking. And then I just fell off the whole thing. I know there are some days in here I took supplements. I just don't know what they were, what days they were. Have no idea, don't remember. The only reason I always know when my runs are is because at the end of every single run, I take a picture of the run screen, and that's how I know. What I would like to do as well is, if I've got like a strength training situation, is write out what's happening over here. Like maybe say I'm doing a challenge. So I've been thinking about doing like an arms, abs, legs type of challenge, keeping it super small and granular. So on days where I don't run, doing X amount of maybe 2 arm exercises, 2 or 3 ab exercises, 2 leg exercises. And I used to call it a quick full body, and I would run a mile and then do a quick full body. Like that used to be like my quick half-hour workout, and I wouldn't get bored because it was, you know, a 12-minute run, maybe 15 with like warm-up cool down, and then it was a quick full body and I was back in the apartment. And I could do the quick full body from the apartment if I was stretched for time or strapped for time and needed to be in front of my laptop for work. Again, I did actually get to log my medicine and my supplements yesterday, and I made a note for pollen because pollen was all over my car already. And I took an Advil Sinus the day before. I didn't do my Flonase last night, but I will 100% do it today. Another reason that I am trying not to use this side of the page is because this tiny little Hobonichi Weeks is gonna last me for freaking ever. There is a massive note section here in the back, and I fully intend to basically duplicate. So like maybe next year I just continue this over. And then there are some weeks like back in the beginning that I didn't even use. I'll probably just like change the dates on those. Like I'll get maybe some of the Coffee Monster Co. weeks. I know it'll be clunky through any phase. Like everything after this year is gonna get clunky. But I wanna use as much of the space before the notes section as possible, and then use the notes section, which I think would be so freaking cool. Like I wanna kind of see now how many years I can fit in here. I'm guessing, I know I can fit 2 in here at minimum, but it would be crazy if I could fit 3. This one was a gift, and it's not that I'm like trying to be cheap necessarily, but I'm just trying to be resourceful. So let me know if you've done something like that. I do know people that have done that with a Hobonichi 5-year. I think that is the wildest thing I've ever heard, and I would love to freaking do it. I really would. I think that would be super crazy. The one I'm in now will document my first 5 years of my 30s. So it would be so cool to like pick one up, like maybe 40s. That'll be 40s and 50s. So that's like 2 books. That's a whole nother book away, but I digress. I think it's really cool when you have multiple years in one book. It's always lovely to pull out to put away something at the end of the year, but there's also something to be able to have that reflection. And I'm a big believer in that. I think that's what's made the Hobonichi 5-year so, multifaceted and emotional, because sometimes I see amazing memories, and then sometimes I see things that make me sad, or it's your life, and it's 5 years of your life, and that's mind-boggling. And I think they're super worth it. And if you're ever thinking about whether you should get a Hobonichi 5-year or not, I would just be an advocate to tell you to do so, because they're wonderful. Just be prepared. Be prepared. You're not going to necessarily like to go back and read some of the things that you read years later, but it's your life, and you get to write it however you want to write it, and you have the power to change things. So I hope this was informative. Thank you again for being flexible with my schedule today, and I look forward to more live streams this month. There will be an upload later today. I'm not going to commit to a time because, yep, I'm going to run, and then work is going to get started, and there's supposed to be maintenance in my apartment today. So there's a lot going on, but it will be the March plan with me. So that will go up today at some point. So just, you know, be patient with me. And then the plan with me for last week, that Pretty Purple week, is going to be the video on Sunday. So you'll have that to look forward to. It's already uploaded, so there shouldn't be any issue with that. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this morning and being flexible. And I will catch you guys on live stream next Wednesday at 6 p.m. I will see you there. Go ahead and get your wine or beverage of choice. I look forward to seeing you guys then. And until next time, enjoy creating your own wonderlands. Bye, everybody. Oh. Sorry, gotta shake the camera.